In this episode of the Fresh Media Podcast, Houston rapper Jenae Inez tells how she stays authentically herself in her music. From freestyling outdoors to collaborating with other artists, Jenae shares some of her creative process. So, could you go ahead and introduce yourself for the listeners and those who may be watching the podcast?
Okay, so my name is Jenae Inez. I am a alternative hip hop artist from Houston, Texas.
Hey. Okay, so Jenae, I don't know how old you are, but you seem just you seem young, quite young, but also very in tune with yourself, which I love, and that's kind of like what I feel that comes through your music. Um, and I'm just like, man, she's just very like vulnerable and just like open with like the things that like she's going through, things on her mind, on her heart. So when did you get started rapping, and like what was it someone who influenced you to begin like sharing your story or to begin rapping? Was it just for like for play? And then you were like, oh, I could do this. So how did it all start?
It started for me. So I'm 34 years old, and I know, I know, I know.
I'm 32. Oh, hold up.
Yeah, I know,
Oh.
I look super young, and it doesn't help. I'm 4'11", so that also doesn't help.
Oh my gosh. One of my best friends is I want to say she might be 4'11", but she might be 4'10".
Mm,
So people think she's a little younger. So now she has a kid, so now they're like, "Oh, you might be a little older."
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. Once you're
anyway,
under 5 feet, I don't know. It's just it always automatically knocks off like at least like 5 years off of your age.
how do you feel about that? Because I definitely pegged you as somebody younger.
Honestly, I think it's a blessing because it has allowed me it's really been a blessing as far as with music because now that like I'm kind of like getting back and really hitting it hard. I feel like for women that are older, especially like if you're the type of woman like you're very like super feminine and you just are being you, society tries to put you in this box like, oh,
Yeah,
you too old, like you showing your body and all this, like it's time to get off stage. And so it's been a blessing for me because I'm not as feminine. It's kind of like uh she's just a young tomboy, and I've just been, I don't even be correcting people because I'm like, we just go rock with it. You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing because I'm no for sure I'm a lot older than you think, but it's just been cool because now that I'm entering a space, it's a fresh face. I look super young, and so I'm grateful. I'm super grateful for that.
nice. So when did it all start?
So like I said, I'm 34, and around the time I was like 4 or 5 when I first started to learn how to speak, my mom used to rap, and she actually got really big in Acres Homes. A lot of people knew her as Coco. She like opened up for Run DMC at the park that we now know as Discovery Green. She used to like battle rap and stuff like that, and kind of like the little behind the wall, hole in the wall type of clubs. And for her, she was just teaching me as a way to kind of like just get comfortable because I was always a really shy kid. And so
Mhm.
on our way to school, when I was going to Wesley, like the drive in the morning, she would make me freestyle things that I saw. So I could never like show her a rap that I wrote the night
Yeah.
before. It was like, nah, I don't want to hear that. Like rap to me what you see. And it helped with my confidence of doing that. And so by
Wow.
the time I was 14, uh I was like going to open mics, going to like actual clubs, and doing like rap competitions against grown-ups. Um
Wow.
so yeah, so I've been doing this for like a really long time. And I did kind of take a break in 2000 like 15 to 2020 pretty much.
Mhm.
Um But besides that, like I've been rapping pretty much since at the same time I could talk.
Yeah. Well, so that makes sense because the way that your flow is, it seems so natural. Like it's like even whether it's a freestyle or it's something that you wrote and like recorded, like to me it just sounds like it just flows so well. Like it's very thoughtful, but it's like your play on words is just so good. I was just
Thank you.
like, so is she like, was she in the poetry scene or like what? Because just the way that your flow is, I was just like, how long has she been doing this?
Thank
But
you.
you good, girl, you good.
Thank you.
So that reminds, you said your mom she was rapping. So I think it's Meg the Stallion that has like a similar, I think it's Meg the Stallion that has like a similar story. Like her mom used to rap and then she also likes like Pimp C is her favorite rapper. And so I just, oh, I love that. It's like, yeah, the talent is passed on, but you know, the story that you told is like she she was helping you cultivate that talent.
Yeah.
And just like that's a bonding experience, but it's also like, you know, it helped you for like where you are now.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's cool because I definitely took like took the talent that she blessed me with and really found myself. So it's like also like my mom was rapping about stuff totally different than I was rapping about. You know,
Right.
like she'd be angry or something like that, and you know she'd be like, somebody cut me off, I'll bust him in the head, and I was never an aggressive like I've never been an aggressive rapper. Like I've always been very like empathetic like type and just conscious and optimistic. Um, but versus for her, like in her generation and culture, like the rap that she was doing, you had to be aggressive. There was no emotional, cool, talking about relationships and love or healing. Like that's
Yeah.
also I think that's new in the black culture too. So
Yeah. You got a point there. You do have a point. I never thought about that because you are right. There are, because I feel like maybe back then, I mean, I'm a 90s baby too. So it's like you thinking about back when like you were younger, like the stuff that was popular versus like quote unquote underground,
right.
or like even maybe some hip hop artists, but it was like a sub genre of like jazz hip hop. Like they would place them in like different subcategories.
Hmm.
Even like somebody like Common, they would put him in like neo soul category.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
he's still hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
They
They
wasn't
did
ready
it.
for the
They did
message.
that with Most Def too.
Yeah.
Most Def they did that too.
And so, eh, man, you got a point there. I'm glad we are where we are, though.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hip hop is in such a beautiful space. Like I enjoy it a lot. A lot. A lot.
Yeah. So I want to talk more about your style of music. I was listening to Serendipity, the EP, and also just like even some of your freestyles, you know, stuff you posted on Instagram, and we gonna get to your creativity with that.
Okay.
But how how do you come up with whether like how to fuse like, because you know you sampled like R&B songs, or you might be like singing a hook, or like how is does that flow easily like when you're recording? Is that like a thought while recording, or like when you're writing a song, is it like oh I think you know I'm gonna like you know I'm gonna do a little sing right here. I'm gonna sing right here. I'm gonna rap right here. How do you organize that?
I look at when I'm creating something, um, where I listen to the beat first. So
Hmm.
there are like instances where I will have a song in mind first before I hear production and kind of work reverse of like, oh, this is what I want to say and get out. But pretty much everything that is out has not followed that process. That's all stuff that's released for like future projects, but
Mhm.
everything that you've heard is what I've heard to be first. And how I work through that is whatever I hear the beat is saying, it kind of, it's like I receive it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like
Like,
speaking to you
yeah.
and those emotions come out. That's cool. So when you so my next question is like how do you approach um being vulnerable? So you feel the music and like you're listening to the music and you're like how do you like is it a decision that you make to be vulnerable or like I'm gonna just go hard on this or I'm gonna be vulnerable because this is like what it's feeling or is it like a little bit of both? Like how do you know or do you just not know?
I 100% always try to stay true to myself. And because I know I am just an emotional ball, um, I just allow that to be like my magic carpet. So there are times like if I'm angry or something that's like ticked me off, I always try to stay optimistic. So even though like I'm angry about something, I'll never be like F this and F that. But I try to take that aggression and utilize it in a way of like my flow is aggressive, not
Yeah.
necessarily the message, you know.
Yeah.
But being vulnerable, like I always want that to be the thing because even if I'm writing about something as simple as like it's well known like a heartbreak, I I try to make sure that I add a lesson. So I try to make sure because I'm a self-reflective person. So I
Yeah.
want to make sure that like, hey, when I had this heartbreak, after I healed or this is what helped me heal, I try to make sure I put that back,
Mhm.
into the song to do a full circle moment. So even if it's where me talking about crashing out, I want to talk about after I crashed out, like
Mhm.
what happened after that. So
Oh, so you're completing the story. It's like not a cliffhanger. You
yeah,
like, and I feel like well, I think I'm gonna be talking about this next because like I feel it does feel like that listening to some of your music. It's like you're healing yourself in the music. Well, maybe not you healing yourself. You have like you talk about your faith. You talk about like the things that are racking your brain, but it's like you don't stay like in the dark place. And so that's what I think is pretty unique because you are like taking people on a journey through the song. And I feel like that is a common theme, like whether it's like it's starting up like on a high note, it's like it's still a journey. It's not that's what I like. I'm like yes, and it makes it it kind of makes you feel like optimistic like at the end.
yeah, I definitely like in every song that I do, that is always the goal.
Yeah.
Is that when you finish listening to the song, you still feel optimistic about whatever it is. Like no matter how, like we start the song, we're going deep and super dark, like experiencing death or addiction, whatever the case may be. Before it's up, we're going to be optimistic about it. You know what I mean? Like, hey, there's tomorrow. This we can do this, we can do that. Like I 100% always want my music to feel like
uh,
that.
Janae never changed. Never changed for anyone. I love it. Let's talk about No Hellos because I watched a video and I was like, I was trying to think. It was kind of like a day in the life type of like animation, but and it's like stop motion. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's stop motion, and
Yeah.
um and which I love. I love that kind of animation. But what made you decide to go that route with the video, or like what's the inspiration? You can talk about the song too, like if that had if you were thinking about something with the song and that's how it happened. What was on your mind?
So I always knew that I wanted really this, like, because I have another music video too for By Myself, and half of that is animated. It was really important for me for serendipity because I'm talking about some really, really dark stuff because I was in a dark place. I also was alone. I'm a loner in general, and I've always been like that as a kid. And so it was really important for me to kind of share kind of personifying some inanimate objects
Yeah.
like the toothbrush and like the alcohol, the shirt, because at the end of the day, like I'm a super Like I love like Beauty and the Beast, like how Belle was like really cool with like the spoon and all of that. I just love that part because
Oh, so that's why because the brush was like hanging out. I was like, wait, it's got arms?
yeah,
And he was like falling asleep, but it was like still trying.
trying to wake me up and brush my teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I really wanted to show that of like even if you're alone in your addiction, there are things that you don't even know that help you get through, like your music, your headphones, the having lights on. Like, but I didn't want it to be so black and plain. Like, hey, there's a lot of blessings around. I didn't want that.
Yeah.
So, kind of stepping into the super creative space with a visual artist by the name of Peter. He's the one who helped me really bring it to life because they were just stick figures on a
Yeah.
piece of paper that I had did. I drew every scene out for him, so I showed him like, hey, this is
Yeah.
what the character.
Storyboard.
Yeah, I did a whole storyboard for him. Um, and he just told me like after I did the drawings, he told me to watch the Spider-Man animated movie. I hadn't watched it before. This is peak COVID. This is 2020.
Yeah.
And I watched it and I was just like super excited because he was like, I want to implement this style with your animation. So that's how it came full circle. The first thing that made me think I wanted to make start like all my the music videos and animation for Serendipity was there's a painting of some dogs playing poker.
Oh yeah. So that's why you had the board game. I mean board game. The cards.
That's exactly why I have the poker game
Yeah.
with the Jack Daniels, Jim Beam, and Jose Cuervo.
Oh.
It was influenced by that painting.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So is that kind of like so you mentioned like, there are still things like to kind of keep you going. And it seemed like, and that's the thing that say if you're like you're in therapy, like they'll suggest you coming up with like a routine to make sure that like you're still moving even though like you're still stuck in a rut. It's like, hey, I accomplished this. And some people they find solace in like in social, like being social when they're going through something versus like being alone. So I think like in the video it kind of shows um kind of, and also shows you like cleaning up like after. So I'm just like, ooh. I was like, okay, so it's like continues like, yeah, you had that moment and now like you're back alone, but you're still like doing something and working. I'm just like, ooh, I like this. I like this.
Celebrating this, guys still celebrate the small steps for sure.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about serendipity, but what role has music in general played in your personal transformation? Say of like things you're going through, um, like the time you were little up until now. Like, how do you use music like in your life or to get through life?
Um, for me, music plays a huge part in my coping mechanisms. Um, I'm an overthinker, big time. Um, and so it's just such a relief when you listen to somebody who is saying something that you are thinking you
Mm-hmm.
probably wouldn't say out loud. And the first person for me that did that was Eminem.
Mm.
I had like a very like interesting childhood where it's like one of those things where on the surface it looked picture perfect, but like behind the scenes I was dealing with a lot of stuff that I actually was not telling anybody and didn't even tell my parents until I was like grown.
Yeah.
Um and because of that I had like this internal like anger that I was just steady like, suppressing down. And I just really appreciated Eminem, even though I know for him, he's like, man, I was high all the time and like saying disrespectful stuff. But I was at a place where I was rightfully so angry, and hearing him say the things that he was saying for me was just such a relief. Um,
Um,
so that's like the number one person that like I can think about because he literally carried me through middle school and high school. Um, of just dealing with these emotions that I feel like I couldn't even tell anybody.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing. And yeah, that's definitely true because I remember for me, I would say like elementary, middle school days was probably India Ari for me.
Mm,
The songs were healing, but it was very like, optimistic, but it was just it's kind of like it was just kind of her music was very grounding. And so like I know that's what I needed in those times. So yeah, it is like and it's just it makes you appreciate music more. I mean, you're an artist yourself, and you're doing that for other people. Whether like I mean, you're producing this music for yourself. You got to get it out, but the same effect I'm gonna have on you, you're gonna have on somebody else, and so that's a powerful like full circle moment. And you might have met them, you might not have met them yet, but it's just I think that's the way you just like give back to the world, especially like through music. Like, you're receiving it and then you can give it back out. Like, that's the blessing to be able to do that.
yeah, yeah, that's so true.
You talk about faith and your relationship with God. How do you, and you're just very like, you're very honest, and it's like it just it's easy for you to talk about, whereas like some people they might not want to, or they might want to like separate it on songs, but with you it kind of just flows like in and out, and it's just very honest, and it just flows so easy. um is it you consciously doing that and acknowledging your faith and like within like the same breath or is it like are you intentional, or is it just like naturally um you like coming out that way?
Um, since serendipity, it's something that has completely like coincided together. It was not always like that though.
Hmm.
Um, I actually had an aha moment with reggae because for a while I was just like, I'm not listening to hip hop. I'm just gonna listen to like other genres,
Yeah.
and it hit me really with Bob Marley. And then like a few like Filipino like reggae music, because they have a really big, huge Catholic community out there, and so their reggae music was like in this literally in the same verse, like as they're talking about like making love to their wife, they're talking about worshiping Christ at the same time. And
The duality.
I was like, wait, what? But after a while, like as I started to really study my word and spend quality time, which happened during serendipity, I
Hmm.
had that moment of realization of everything that I do is in worship. It's not going to just to church and listen to worship music and taking that time as like, oh, this is worship. Everything that I do is worship. So me rapping, the way I dress, me showering, me washing my car, that's all of that is a consistent flow of worship. So now
Hmm.
it is 100% like 100% like it flows naturally now.
Yes, yes, and it does that, it does. um I want to talk about some of your videos that, and I love the way you're, and I saw there was like a behind the scenes video of you about to like film one of your videos.
Okay, yeah.
I was on YouTube and I was like, oh yay, behind the scenes. I love behind the scenes footage. So talk about like your idea for shooting. Like, is it like your yard you're shooting in? There's also freestyle you did at the park. But like it's like I love that you just outside, you're in nature, and it just makes it, to me it's kind of like like you're outside, and you need to go touch the grass sometimes and like breathe in the outside air, and but I feel like it just gives like a different kind of energy,
Mm.
like just like through the video. Could you just talk about like your decision to do that, like, and is it easy or hard for you to do?
Honestly, like I always get I always get anxious right before I'm about to shoot. Like right
Mhm.
before it's time for me to grab my gear and go shoot. It's fun planning it out. Like I always know while I'm actually writing my freestyle or like writing my songs, I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do for this song. Um, so that part of planning it out is not hard,
Yeah.
but going outside and shooting in public, has been something that I'm still trying to get used to. Um, and
Yeah.
then the
Awkward. It can be awkward.
yeah, you know, and luckily, like my neighborhood, like since I've been like the Fofo freestyle did really well. Now when I'm shooting, I'll sometimes have people that are like they'll just do something like this, like cheer me on. So that's definitely reassuring, you know. Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. The neighborhood people encouraging you, like,
yeah,
do that.
yeah. So that's been reassuring, for sure. But also too, as far as locations, like how do I find like what I want, where I want to shoot? The outside thing started because Serendipity's whole thing is this. At the time, I felt like I was just in like this deep like jungle as far as like my emotions, and so I wanted to show that out as far as my environment.
Oh.
But as I started, because Serendipity is the first project after me quitting. Like once I had quit in 2015, I was like, I'm just gonna become a psychiatrist and go into the mental health space in that way. So I was done. But once I started kind of going through and creating this project, I realized that I am really big on seasons, and I look at it from a like farmer's like standpoint of it. Of there's certain seeds that are going to grow well in spring, and what the harvest does, and what winter and what summer does of working. And I realized that for my brand, I wanted to always look at myself as a seed. So that's why being outside has
Okay, you hit me. Look at yourself as a seed. Yes, you sow it. Okay.
yeah.
Keep
Yeah,
up.
so you get
Go.
it. So that's 100% why you start really seeing like a lot of my videos are outside. It's because I want people first of all, most when I write my songs, I want people to take it in from a first person perspective of like, hey, this is what I'm going through and she hears me. But I want them to see it outside to understand, hey, you're a seed as well. So you need that water, you need that
Yeah.
sun. You know what I mean? You need to understand that sometimes you got some weeds growing and you have to snip that off. And sometimes you're bearing a lot of fruit, you know. It's all about the season. So that's why the outside videos.
I love that. Oh my goodness. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for explaining that. And that was very satisfying to hear. Man. Okay. So what are your thoughts about the Houston hip hop scene? And my question is kind of like what do you think about, I guess, opportunities in Houston for hip hop artists or just like musicians in general? Do you feel like you have like a collaborative type of ecosystem, or are you still searching for that? And like, if so, like, what do you think we could do about it to make it like, even better?
Um, well, I think first this like historically, Houston's hip hop scene has been kind of based off of one subculture, which is kind of slabs,
Mm.
um, sip and lean, chopped and screwed music. And it's so weird that that is what is like stuck on Houston, because I realized it got super glamorized.
Yeah.
But we also have Ghetto Boys and Scarface that came
Yeah.
for that, and they were heavy, 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 like super strong, barred out. Like they had like just super impactful bars. They were very lyrical, and that didn't stick in
Yeah.
Houston, you know. And so because of that, I felt the industry. tried to put this cap, like, oh, only Houston music can sound like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so now if you're outside of that, because there's like a lot of people who are creating these events for performing and stuff like that, and the
Yeah.
clubs, like they make space for chop and screw moments at the club, but they're not really doing that for just heavy lyrics at all. Um,
Right.
so I know that because I've been here all my life, and
Yeah.
so that's what I expected. But one of the beautiful things, and I mean it's beautiful, and it's kind of a disaster too, because as we have these influx of people moving in, our
Mm-hmm.
neighborhoods are getting gentrified.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's just sad. It's breaking my heart, like watching like neighborhoods that I have so many memories at, and it's like, oh, this is not even the name anymore. Like, it's like what? But it's also opening new spaces in the entertainment, and it is like changing these conversations of like, hey, we need to have more jazz, and we need to have spots for Brazil, and we need to have like a cipher for rappers to come and do their thing, which was not that was not,
It wasn't
at
possible.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't possible for. So
Mm-hmm. It's like the pros and cons. I don't get the name change thing. Whenever they start gentrifying areas, I'm like, okay, but there's a way to gentrify, like to where you can include more opportunities, but like you won't have to change the history.
yeah,
Like,
but it's intentional.
yeah,
It's definitely intentional, because at the end of the day, when you can consistently change the identity that people are like, oh, like I'm in fifth ward, oh, I'm in third ward. You can be like, oh, now this is Ito and this is blah blah blah. What it does is it now takes away like this is my neighborhood.
yeah,
Changing that off, so you have some people who never knew it as this title. They're like, oh, I'm here, and you're like, nah, this is that. So now you're separated.
yeah,
So it's definitely it's intentional. It's intentional for sure, because they do this. And when I say they, I mean like the people who create these zoning and stuff like that. They do these things because of the simple fact that once it's time of, oh, we want to be closer to downtown, and we want to now capitalize off this market that y'all have created. Y'all have started your own business there and started like just movement, and people are having memories there. Oh, it's the influx of people and people are driving through. Okay, let's take it away and capitalize it. And you're not going to feel like it's yours anymore, because the very one thing of like the name, and we're the type of like blacks. You tell us like, oh, the name of this y'all neighborhood is Black Dot. We're gonna make it still sound super cool. We're gonna get it on a shirt.
yes,
You know what I mean? We're gonna be like Black Dot, Black Dot. Like, so it's just not, we're gonna take away, it's not even called Black Dot no more. You know what I'm saying? It's called
yeah,
exclamation point. And so it's just it's intentional, and that's why the music that I try to always create optimism, but still being proactive.
yeah,
We cannot control what gets thrown at us, unfortunately. But how we react and how we move, like, do not slow down on that. Do not
yeah.
slow down. Do not let it deter you off. So yeah, that's my.
Okay, yes. I love it. Okay, so we're gonna be wrapping up. Um, and I just want to ask, what are some surprising things that you might have heard um, from listeners and fans about your music, or something that you've created?
Um, I think one of the most really the recent one that I want to highlight is, so Brazil has been showing me like a lot of love. Like it's been really overwhelming.
Wow.
Because like a lot of my top fans don't even speak English fluently, but they're like the feeling, like I can feel what you're saying, and like I just absolutely love it. Like they were like, you're on the same stuff that we're on down here.
Wow.
And that's been really impactful for me because especially like this the Acres Home freestyle was like the first freestyle where I got really a lot of just love of like I like you, I like what you're doing. I had another freestyle before that called Freak Nemo that I dropped last year
Mm-hmm.
that like really went well, but they was like, oh, your bars, your bars. But besides that, I haven't really gotten a lot of love in Houston off of the way that I dress and the way that I talk.
Yeah.
Um, and Brazil was like the first community that were like, nah, then like
Wow.
we love what you do. We love what you do. And so to have a group of people who don't even understand every single word, but understand like the emotions and the delivery behind it,
Mm-hmm.
that's super surprising for me.
Wow. That's super cool. It's something going on in Brazil. Like they know how to clock the talent, and then they be going hard.
They do.
That
It's
is
so
pretty
beautiful.
cool. Wow. So what are some upcoming shows, or you got some new music dropping soon, like, or anything that you want to share that you're coming out with?
Yes, July 15th is the first single I'm dropping. It's first single after the whole Serendipity EP. It's called MYOB. Um,
NYOB.
yeah, mind your own business.
Oh, am I? Am I? I was like MYOB. I was like, is it a place?
Yeah, no, no, it's the acronym for mind your own business.
Okay, okay. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So where can people find your music? And where can they follow you to stay updated on your new things?
I mean, for sure, Instagram, you can never go wrong. Just because that's the platform that, as far as like freestyles and announcements, you can always go on Instagram. It's at JenaeInez. My website is pretty much like um, it's just for really like once I do like my merch drop.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the link on my Instagram bio, that's where I have a sign up. So if you want to be a part of my mailing list where you get exclusives, like everyone who's a part of that mailing list, they already got MYOB, like a secret link for it. So that's like really like where I put a lot of my attention to is my mailing list. They're the ones who get like um videos of like my performances. They'll get early access to like merch drops. So my mailing list I take care of. I really do look out
Nice.
for them. So
Y'all go sign up. I'm gonna go make sure I sign up too, because I need some drop. I need to get the early info. Well, thank you, Jenae, for being on this podcast episode. And y'all go and follow her because her music is amazing. Y'all go buy her merch, go support this artist, and we'll see you, or you can listen to us next time in the next episode.
thank y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the Fresh Media Podcast. Follow Jenae Inez at Jenae Inez on all social platforms.